Good evening, my brothers and sisters of the night. Today is the Halloween special, and all of the darkness shall fulfill this earth. Hey there guys, Templar here, and today we are going to be talking to you guys about haunted history. Since this is very close to Halloween, I decided might as well make a series for haunted history. And well, pretty much the first one I'm going to start off on is the Donkey Lady story. Now, if any of you guys don't know what the Donkey Lady story is about, stay tuned for this entire history genre to learn more about it. Or her. You get the point. Anyways, shall we get started? Now, the Donkey Lady was actually a type of myth that first was born in types of history. Pretty much what we know about it might have actually been late Mexican rule or sometime in early Texan rule. We still don't know. But we do know is that the way she died was actually kind of very horrifying and sad at the same time. For example, she lived with both her husband and including her children. Of how many there were, we still don't know. Now though, this is actually one of the type of stories that we kind of today don't really understand until we end up having to deal with it. Now, pretty much actually think about this though. Pretty much this all began because of a nobleman, or a rich man's son, who pretty much was attacking a donkey, and in doing so, it was the only type of animal that the family could own or afford. So in doing so, the husband ended up beating up the son. In doing so, the son then stated that he would come back, and make sure that they rue the day that they crossed him. He, true to his word, the next few days later, or a day or so later, at night, it's stated somewhere around midnight, they actually attacked the house. First by burning down the so-called stables where the donkey lived, and including later on burned down the house. First the male was outside fighting off the attackers, but he himself was killed and shot. The children, though, burned in the fire. Now, that could have actually ended there. But the woman herself, actually, this was probably one of the most horrifying things. So, viewers that are children, be warned. This will give you nightmares. Upon her actually being in the fire, she was stated to have charged out of the flames from the front door. Her skin charred like charcoal itself, black as night. Darker than the very blackness of hell. Her hands burned as though she has the form of hooves, and her face melted from the flames, forming the shape of a donkey. Her echoing scream made a loud, moaning scream. Ah! She then plunged into the waters below, near the river where their house lay, and is still to this day presumed to be haunted. I myself have actually gone there myself, guys, and I myself know the very further steps of how horrifying this place is. Now, this was actually me and two of my friends. One of them, a deputy sheriff, well, technically before he became a deputy sheriff, and another one who technically had his own channel on YouTube before it was demonetized by YouTube. because of so-called graphic intention. And he was just using his channel for ghost hunting, so I don't see the graphic intention there. But upon actually reviewing Donkey Lady Bridge, we didn't believe the theory or the history about it ourselves until we went there. Now, we went there around like an hour or so before midnight, and upon going to the place, we thought, Donkey Lady Bridge, this is all bluff and such, but there were so many eyewitness accounts and a bunch of horrifying other accounts, to be precise. Now, we waited and waited. Now, this is actually also, if you guys are wondering, yes, this is actually by the time I got my first car. And what happened was, we were pretty much waiting right by the, well, the bridge. Well, on the bridge, because technically the gate was open. Now, upon being near the bridge, upon the bridge I should say, we were pretty much just waiting and waiting, and pretty much were wondering, this is a hoax. And by 12:01 a.m., we then finally realized it had to be a hoax. That was until we heard this blood-curdling female scream, both from afar and close, almost as though it was right outside our door. I was so terrified, me and my buddies were also terrified, we looked around everywhere and didn't see anything. That was when I looked into my rearview mirror and noticed a faint object in the background. The silhouette of a woman. Now, if you guys are wondering, yes, there was a moon out at this point in time, and upon seeing the silhouette of a woman, I then looked to my back window just to see. I look. There's no one there. And she was a good 10 to 20 feet away, and there's no way she could have realized that I could have actually seen her. Or as well, there was no way she could have actually hid in the dirt or anywhere without me seeing her in the process. I was terrified to the very core, and I then decided to get, me and my buddies, pretty much we all decided to get out of there. But upon turning on my car engine and headlights, I then witnessed something that shook me. What looked to be a woman right in front of my car when I had my headlights on. This terrified me. And upon seeing her, she looked as though she was drenched but yet burnt at the same time. Her skin dark. I was as black, which was unspeakable. We got out of there as soon as possible, and upon actually getting a few miles away from the place, we called the cops. Lucky for us, there was a patrol nearby, and lucky for us, it was actually a canine unit. The canine unit actually sniffed out the area for a complete hour, and they informed us no one was there. This really terrified us. We didn't want to talk about any more about it and decided to stay away from her. But still, oncoming reports are a lot more. Many people even say they hear what sounds to be crying in the distance, underneath the bridge even. As well, some people, like one of my mother's old friends, ended up actually seeing the Donkey Lady in his car. This is actually long before, though, when Donkey Lady Bridge was a type of road go-between. He was technically coming home from work from the type of old airport, which, if you guys don't know, this is the type of airport which you got to take bush planes that technically flew around towns and such to smear off propaganda or ads or whatever before the internet was around. And upon him doing this, he actually encountered something very strange. He heard what sounded like a yell, right? A very, very blood-curdling yell in his ear. Now this is like as soon as he drives over the bridge, and in doing so, there he looks into his rearview mirror and sees the same figure that we saw. But upon him looking back, no one was there. Now that is actually probably the most terrifying incident. He actually got a real close-up personal account with it. me and my friends as well did as well, but we weren't actually that close to it. Thank goodness. Though as well, there are many speculations on the Donkey Lady Bridge and how horrifying this story is. But as well, a lot of people forget on how horrifying this place is. I myself have gone there many times, and that was probably the only time it actually got to me. Still though, I really wouldn't actually want to go around there at night. But if any of you guys want to, be my guests, but don't say I didn't warn you. Now, if you guys also want to know any more horrifying things about throughout history, especially from around the world, here in Texas, or as well in parts of the United States, ghost stories, monster stories, leave comments down below and let me get to them as soon as possible. Also, leave a like down below if you guys want more about, if you really enjoyed this, and subscribe for more. Anyways, guys, this has been Templar, and have a good day, and a happy Halloween.